do with Louie? Oh, hi. Welcome to another Today's Decay, where we celebrate births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time. Today is December 30th, and here are all the dates that really rate. In 1888, Wallace Smith was born, who was an illustrator who illustrated a book by Ben Hecht. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I don't know how to do it, but it was considered so obscene that the U.S. government fined them $1,000 at the time, which then was a tremendous amount of money. And I don't know if and when this has ever happened before, but it makes you very interested to see just what caused it, and this works really good. So yeah, Wallace Smith, go search him out. On this day in 1928, Bo Diddley was born. This is I think a pretty overlooked book, and I would definitely suggest reading it if you have any interest in Bo Diddley. This is it here. It's the only one specifically focusing on him that I know of. Bo Diddley, Living Legend, by George R. White, and that I know of, this was considered not a official autobiography. Bo Diddley didn't clear it, and yet it's full of one-on-one interviews that the writer had with him over the years. So how Bo Diddley, or why Bo Diddley didn't want to endorse this, I don't know, because it's great. All sorts of stuff in here that I didn't know. For instance, late 60s, maybe early 70s, something in that time frame. He basically retired from music unless somebody called him up and said, yeah, come play this, we could come play this festival, and was living in Arizona, New Mexico as a sheriff, or in the police force in some form. And so you could have theoretically been pulled over for speeding by none other than Bo Diddley. Right? I mean, this is a movie just waiting to happen, I feel like, or a TV show or something. He calls up the Duchess or Lady Bo and says, oh, we've got a call to go play the Toronto Rock and Roll Festival or the London Rock and Roll Festival, whatever it is. Let's get going. But first I've got to deal with these small town sheriff things, and then whatever the people in the small town how they interact with a living legend. It writes itself, Yeah, so look for it on a small screen or big screen near you. Never, but hopefully. Yeah. Anyway, Bo Diddley's the man, and that just means that today, December 30th, you ought to be blasting him all night long. Especially, I mean, his, clearly this is rhythm and blues turned rock and roll, but he's also, I don't think he gets anywhere near enough credit for embracing female lead guitar players. Lady Bo first, and then the Duchess after her, were, I mean, there's nobody that comes close to them. I mean, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, okay, but she's doing religious-based stuff. It doesn't, exactly fall into the same category. So yeah, Bo Diddley, all the way, the man. On this day, 1945, Lloyd Kaufman was born. I started off as an intern, but I wound up director of operations at Troma for a couple of years. And it's kind of like a rite of passage, I'd say, for New York filmmaker horror people. And I will never walk down 9th Avenue and 49th Street without looking up to see the Toxic Avenger painted on the side of the brownstone, which isn't there anymore. But to me, that's my New York. Yeah. The Toxic Avenger one. Maxine Sanders, born this day, 1946. Big in the Wiccan world, of which I am not. And 1953, the film The Wild One premiered. And 10 years later, 1963, the Outer Limits episode, The Zanti Misfits, was first unleashed on this planet. So there you go, December 30th. I think it gives you a good grouping of all sorts of stuff to celebrate today. And if not, well, do what thou wilt. 'Tis up to you. Till tomorrow, goodbye.